Hi, Shah. And I don't do this as like everyone else does. So welcome to Turnstile Your Life. Da, da, da. And it's about, yeah, it's about the art, hang on, becoming your own art masterpiece. And so
Yes.
I'm doing these Zooms mainly because it's quite interesting. I'm doing a lot to do with the inner child and the journey and artists. And I came to realize mostly on my own journey that the art of becoming your own masterpiece really stems from, well, born to now and how we've shaped our lives through being a child to now. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was going to come up. And so what I found myself is that everything that I did as a little girl, that is where the joy is. And it's funny that, I did that, da da da, and to now I'm doing the same thing. And that's what brings me the most joy. So let's throw it to you. What kind of did you do? So you do music, don't you?
Yeah, I do spiritual rap, and it's a newish thing. What is just channeled through me. So I remember trying it a little while ago when I was in England, and oh yeah, I was just practicing my voice and seeing how I could create and what I could do and what beats work my way. But yeah, for me now, it's a release. It's a spiritual tool, and it's a de-stressor at the same time as well. So this is what it does to me. It de-stresses me and it makes me release what needs to be released at times.
I know, because Adrian, I know I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I did listen to some the other week and I was like, I'm interviewing Sharon. I've not even really listened to his music. And I was like, so I listened to a bit. And I was like, actually, what's really interesting about it, how you said like it's your intuition and you're bringing that through your music. But also, what I came to realize was that when I listen to it, you're speaking a lot of truth and
Yeah,
you're getting a lot of truth out there, which is quite, as my universe, it's like quite imperative to get out right now, isn't it?
definitely. And this is what we are. We're all starting to resonate the truth, and we cannot not be the truth. And this is why it's so important for us all to start speaking truth. If we want the world to be in a peaceful, harmony way, we all need to learn to be ourselves and be accepted for who we are. We don't need to change our ways in any way. We just need to be ourselves, and then the people in the tribe will automatically attract towards you. You don't need to go out searching. The frequency and the vibration of where you're supposed to be naturally occurs. You just cannot be boggled by other energy sources.
Yes, yes, you're totally right. I know. It's funny because I'm the same. I'm just starting to speak my truth again. It's taken ages
Yeah,
that. And you know, the funny thing is when you start speaking truth, you realize that I spoke my truth back when I was like 18, 19, and then over that little duration of being 18 to like what, I'm 52 now. And it's
yeah,
like, life kind of happens and you start realizing on this journey that you pull back from doing that, don't you? Because
yeah,
but actually we've always been like the biggest light bearers and we pulled back that because we felt so much we could feel other people that we were pulling that element of bringing truth out back. So we weren't.
yeah,
Does this make sense? What I'm saying? Not. Do
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? In the wars that we would um offend someone when actually we were offending ourselves by not speaking our truth in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. It is. Because for me, it was a kind of my childhood wasn't all that fun. It was kind of all deluded and all like kind of a dark energy. So for me, it's like when I come of a small age, maybe in my late teens, then I got to live a real life, a real child life, a real human life. So once that occurred, I look back at my days and it was like, wow, I had so much light inside me. It attracted so many dark forces what wanted to try and take the light away from me, but I overcome them. I'm still here. I can still spit the message out for the experiences I went through as a child and relate to so many people out there. So this is the magical frequency that I like to bring. I like to bring because I'm living evidence, you know, of a light warrior who has overcome darkness and now just wants to blossom light, you know, worldwide, galactic, cosmos, you know, and this is what it is. This is what the frequency that I'm bringing now. And this, as you can hear in the music and as well, the retreat and stuff I want to create. So it's like, it's all blended into, I know I'll get there. You know, I had that within a faith inside me, knowing that all this around me was just a test. It was just a test for me to overcome the obstacles, what they try to put them in, see how brave and see how strong I was. And, you know, we are all brave in ourselves. And once we click and realize that we must forgive the people who called us harm because, you know, they were just taught by bad teachers. They didn't know no different, you know. I don't blame them. I don't blame who taught them, who done it to them, who done it to them. I just forgive them, and we all have a chance to re-erect our sins and change our frequency. You know, when people can really go in their mind because they've done so much badness, but everyone can turn it around. We must remember that. You know, we all have a second chance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Every hour of every chance, first chance, second chance, call it.
Real.
I know for me, it's been a case of I'm very inconsistent. I'll be honest with you. And
Yeah.
I'm so much of a free spirit. It's like, la, la, la. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And I still want to be that person because that is who I really am. But
Yeah.
that doesn't get shit done, basically, does it? You know
No,
what
of course. I know, but you know, being the child within is always beautiful. You know, it's like now, you know, I'll never hide the child within me. I love to laugh, I love to joke, I love to
I
just make people happy. You know, and I think like this is one of our duties as well, is to bring that happiness back into society.
It's bringing the joy back. You know what?
Yeah.
And like since I've started, so I've got another one of these Zooms later with another beautiful soul who I connected with something like 4 years ago. And
Oh wow.
and you know when you just know that you've got something to do with each one, and I've known about it a year ago. There's another lady,
Yeah.
well, I've known about it a year ago, but you know, and I've had a couple of groups where it's to do with children and like create, you know, like art. I know it's not about me this, but just explaining that I've had a couple of art groups to show kids, you know, how to do art in lots of different ways and using stuff within your
Brilliant.
house to create art because that's what it's it. That's what I'm about, like using recycled stuff, driftwood, and that kind of thing. Da da da. And there's another lady in there who I've been friends with for about. We were working it out about 7 years now, and I've met her once, and she's glorious. She's beautiful. She's an amazing lady. But you know, one of them where you know, kind of what part of her mission it is to do connected with me, and then this Aurora that's connected with me, and it's like since I started doing this, then like you said, it kind of unfolds, doesn't it? Do you know?
Yes.
And I know it's to do with kids, and I'm like, I can't think of anything better actually, because I get all
Yeah.
kids gravitate towards me, kids and animals. I'm like
Me
Doctor.
too.
I've noticed
Yeah.
recently how birds are so close to you.
I know it's getting amazing. It really is, you know. And yeah, it's like nature is constantly giving you messages.
Yeah, I've got that's the is I'm just working on my consciousness, getting it up again at the moment. So yeah, I've been doing lots of meditation, and it feels like my head's being stretched, you know, and like a vice. Is
Beacons. Yeah, it's becoming a beacon now.
that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna attract so much.
Yeah. I, so did you do music when you were younger? What was your influence in music?
I don't know really because I remember when I was a kid, I always got told to shut up, you know, because every time I was at we went choir or anything, I'll be the one at the end who's just going you know, just carrying on or something, you know. But for me, I never believed I had the capability because everyone said stop, you know, everyone around me just saying be quiet, be quiet. So I didn't have a voice. I was pretty shy to release my voice. So my voice didn't really come out until later on in life. Even now, in music, I'm not really good with names. I'm not good with lyrics. When I read and I try and read the lyric and try and sing, it doesn't match because I'm concentrating too much on the words. So I find it very difficult. So the freestyle is just, it just fits me, you
Yeah.
know? And, you know, maybe in time that I'll get my own technique where I can actually write some lyrics down and follow them and just add them in during the song. So for me, it's a kind of actually, yeah, I'll tell you actually where it really, really originated from. So I had custody of my son.
Right.
He was 17 at the time, and I had custody of my son, and the people said, "Oh, he can't go in school. He's really misbehaving. You know, he's got issues. He's got ADHD. Blah blah blah." So I was like, "Ty, don't listen. Whatever they say, okay, don't listen to them. Okay, you're just an over evolved person. Okay, you're evolved species where your senses are just on higher level. You know, they're not gonna. I'm not gonna let them downgrade you because it's not. You know, it's just them trying to give you medication so you can become a bit of a donut and be a zombie." You know,
I
and
know.
this is what they want. You know, so now it was a kind of so I talked to him, I coached him quite well, and then I put him back into school. And he was thriving. He had no problems. He was meeting friends. He was doing education. And then during that meantime, I was working in Cambridge, and I saw a homeless man. And this man was like, he was 27 years old, had big dreadlocks. And we got talking. I took him for a coffee. We started chit chatting. And then he told me his issue, and I was like, "What?" So I said, "All right, come on then. You can come live with me and my son for a little while, and we can solve the problem. I can take you to the meetings. We can go and do this, do that." And I did. And so a couple of days passed, and he goes, "It was what was he? He was Spanish. His name was Jamie." And Jamie goes, "Oh, Shah, this is what we used to do in Spain. We used to just chill and we just put a track on and we all go around singing." So, so this is where it originated from. So it took me to accept a homeless person to come into this house, and this homeless person has said some game what they used to play when they were kids, and then it's created the pathway now,
Do you know what? That is gonna be the most glorious story ever.
That's cool, isn't it? And I was like, wow. And I'm like, this is what life's all about. Everyone comes in their lives, even if it's just for a small period of time or just, just to awaken us up. So some people come in your life just to click a switch on. And
Yeah.
when they click that switch on, and then suddenly you got memories of before lives or talents that you never knew you had.
Yes. Yes. Or
Yeah,
consistent.
exactly. Yeah. So,
Really. I know. Certainly learned a lot with Adrian. Definitely.
Yeah, I bet you.
Saying to me, be consistent, make a plan and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And do you know what? I used to do all that, but I don't. Do you know what I think it is? I think it's when my daughter's left, and then I kind of stopped doing it, and I realized it's
Yeah,
responsibility now. And look
yeah, yeah.
for yourself. And then that's what my journey's been more recent, learning that that responsibility is towards yourself. I'm great at looking after everybody else, but I wasn't great at looking after myself.
Mm, yeah, that's familiar.
Oh, I love that story. That's amazing. And I was just gonna say, it just shows that gifts are everywhere and how not to be judgmental of,
Yeah,
it's without, as I say, without shelter, because they're not without a home, they're without shelter.
yeah.
You learn a lot from the honest same as us. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah. And it was amazing because, I was custody with him and he was only like 4 years older than my son. And, my son got along with him. And then my son's brother, he was coming over weekends, and we was all going out together and we was all having fun. So it was like, it was supposed to be. And this is just from an act of kindness, you know? And this is the one thing where it's like, I really bless everyone to have this in their lives, is down to good deeds, good thoughts, and good words. Okay, we have them free, and then I can, I will, I must. and then we have them 3, okay? And these these are just small words and small ways that we can carry ourselves every day. And if we can carry them every day, then suddenly our life can be so much more blessed and more beautiful in front of us because we're not being poisoned by any unwanted frequency. And we know what 5G and other frequencies are out there, they are boggling the mind. They are, and we're having thoughts and patterns what are not even our thoughts. They're from another, they're from the frequency. So you know when you get that crazy thought, you're like, where's that come from? That's not me. It's because they're penetrating the mind and they're putting the frequency in there to make you think like this. This is why I moved to Crete and I don't have any electricity in the house at the minute. I'm getting solar power, and you know I do not want any hotspot. And okay, I've got a hotspot on my phone, but I don't want any kind of like rotors and any stuff like this. If I do get internet, it'll be direct underground and put in, you know, into the house. So just be like olden style, you connect it to the computer. So this is what, because you know we're all frequencies, and us with our technology and our phones, you know, again, it's another microchip to control us, to dull us, to make us think the way they want us to think. It's as simple as that, you know. It's a modern day weapon, and we all think it's entertainment, you know.
My mentor, which is, you probably had a chat with him, I don't know, but you'll have heard of him through Barrett, no doubt, called Rick Dewars. And he's been doing a lot of the healing, you know, assisting me and assisting Gaia and stuff like that. And he said something rather interesting a few weeks ago, and he said it's to do with the pineal gland. I don't know if I said that right. I never know how you say it.
Yeah, you said it right, yeah.
Pineal gland, and it's the crystal in the pineal gland that connects with the phone.
And
I was like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
exactly, yeah.
Oh, and I forgot last night, but I had that thought process yesterday, not to have my phone at the side of my bed again, to start taking it out of the room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they say something like 16 foot away from your bed so you don't get the radiation.
That's
So
it.
what I used to do, I used to leave my phone, turn it off downstairs when I was at my old house, and I used to just cover it with crystals. So I had a little crystal like little grids, and I put my phone in the middle of the grid. So this is what I want to do eventually. Actually, is to actually create household radiation copper boxes, so we can just put our phones in there and just keep it in. You know, so it's protected and it's not penetrating the frequency of the house.
I mean, you know, when you think the advanced civilization of this is, we won't need phones. And
I
actually,
know.
that's what drives me. I don't know if you get this. That's what drove me a little bit bonkers in my head, is because I was hearing everybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, because it was a
It wasn't me. Of course, and I was like, I said that. This was like about a year and a bit ago. I said that, and I can see it in a post. What's that all about?
yeah. No, this is what I mean, and this is one of the biggest things. We are battery cells, yeah, and since humanity have been existed, they've used us to manifest things in their lives. Now, you look about every single thought we've had, or every single thought, a cup, everything has come from a dream. It's come from a vision. You know, everything around us has come from someone's vision. So that makes sense that there's a huge program. So we are parts of this massive program, what is manifesting our reality. So they're using us to manifest the reality what they wish to at certain times, you know? So it's a kind of about controlling our own energy, Mother Gaia, nature at her best, and breathing the real energy. Try to stay away from the unwanted energies what are trying to persuade you to waste your energy or to feed their PC system, you know, their matrix,
Yeah,
you know. So, but it's about us now to developing using technology of the old and
yeah,
going back with nature. You know, this is what's happening.
yeah. I've known that for a while. Um,
Yeah,
I've seen that for a while, like over the past at least 3 years. You know, and it's funny how you get these little glimmers like 3 years ago early on, and then like it comes back and then shows you, and you're like, oh wow, okay, I get that now. Yeah, definitely,
yeah,
because So it's funny because I was talking to Ruby, who I'm doing every week with Ruby, because she's got so much inner wisdom about nature. And what I'm finding with why I started, sometimes by having these conversations, we trigger off wisdom that we didn't realize we had, that needs plucking out by having these conversations.
Yeah.
But so part of it was that, and this is like my sharing this, and I know you know this, Shah. We are nature. We are nature. And
Yes. We are.
shown me this, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm being a hypocrite, because I've got 3 things that I need to release myself from. They're not major, but they're there, and I know I need to release them. And it's like to really cleanse and purify my body so that it's at its ultimate. And by doing that, and this is the thing that's rather interesting, and I love this, if every single one of us cleaned up our vessel, loved ourselves entirely, with every, by doing the inner work, doing the shadow work, releasing our
Yeah.
things that we know on a deep level isn't, hang on, great for us. Hang on, one sec. That's it. And so I'll have to put another link on in a bit, and then Adrian will slot them together.
Okay.
We'll clear that bit out anyway, and then we'll start again. So if we all loved ourselves, basically, I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just simply sharing my own perspective on this. If we all cleaned up our vessel, all loved our vessel, put all the good stuff in our vessel,
Yeah.
what the world's going to look like? Every single person on the planet does this. We
Yeah.
have an amazing world full of love. No, nothing, because we are the world, and the outward
Yeah.
representation of what
Yeah.
we're doing within our body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's exactly it. Exactly it. You know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why our ancestors are talking through us so much now. They're trying to tell us that this is the time now. This is the real time where humanity are going to change for a very long time. So you either choose one, you either choose a side. I don't like to say sides because it's not the right way to be. But until we become a world peace civilization, we have to start to put some footprints in the land for many to follow. So yeah, this is what we've got to be. It's about being guardians. It's about being role models, and it's about really, showing the people how to really live a life, not life live through you. You have to live your life. You don't want their life to be put on you. So this is now what is happening, and this is so beautiful because we're all seeing it now, and we're all connected, and we're all meeting, and we're all got these same visions.
Yeah.
There is a consciousness, a collective consciousness was actually building it now, and now we're manifesting it. So if we have as many minds can all pray at the same time and say the same thoughts, then suddenly power, it's in our reality. Yeah, and this is what I believe that the excitement is. We're all looking forward to it, and we're not feeding that fear frequency anymore. We're seeing the other versions, and we're not saying, "Oh, they're doing the war, they're doing this, they're creating, clouds in the sky to chemicalize us." All this is happening around us. We know, but we're fighting against it. We're protecting ourselves. We're finding ways how we can heal ourselves. We're finding ways how we can win this spiritual warfare. So I think this is what's happening, and we're coming in billions. That they can't stop this anymore. This is why the new world and the new era is approaching us all. It's so exciting.
I know. Oh, I've got goosebumps. And thank you for sharing that excitement, because I felt that then. And I get goosebumps when I get excited. I'm quite an excitable person. And I need to really kind of zone in and share that more. Do you know what I mean? And this is why it's great, because this is like a two-way thing. It's nice to hear other people's stories, and in the hopes that it'll inspire someone else as well, to show
Yeah.
that, that what you did as a kid, you kind of revert back to, but in a different form. And it's where
Yes.
it's joy. and also like how it's showing that, you know, we've always been that bright Belisha beacon, and we kind of dimmed it for other people, but then we come back to it, and it's like it's not just a Belisha beacon. What is it? I don't know. It's like a massive, huge light.
It is a divine star. We have a divine star inside every single one of us, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And that star, when it activates, you know. And there's no stopping that light. There's no stopping that light.
no, I'm like one of them Care Bears, you know.
Yeah.
I love that gif. I was like, I'd love to have that gif as a banner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So I think where I'm going with that now is it'd be quite nice to hear about, you know, kind of like I don't know how to say this now because I think I'm steering away from the spirituality, the word spirituality, because I think it can be very off-putting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
no,
I think just being our true selves, and you say higher consciousness. Do you know?
yeah.
Do you think you've always been that? Was there a time where you were out of that and then come back to that?
Yeah, I remember when I was a child, I remember I had to create imaginary friends. So when I create these imaginary friends, I knew I had an imagination, and it worked. It really did. It got me over situations. So when I come later on of time, um, I've always had visions. I've always had visions, and I've always been met by interdimensional beings. They've always popped in my life at certain points of my life timeline in this vessel. And yeah, there has been times where I've just fallen away and got straight into the matrix, been brainwashed, you know, thinking, following someone else's dream, realizing that it wasn't even my dream at the beginning. It was just a kind of conversation. Then suddenly this conversation turned into this whole blown story. What I didn't want to exist, but I did because I was following another.
Yeah,
So once I realized that, you know, we need to follow our own deep path and our legacy within ourselves, our soul legacy, what we've been brought here for, then it made me realize that, sure, okay, this is why, you know, it's just me and Luna, the dog in the mountain, you know, so it's me and Luna, and we're grounding ourselves, you know. I'm not having any unwanted frequencies, and I'm not being persuaded. No, I'm not saying a relationship term, all relationships are the same, but for me, for my own growth, it's a kind of, at this particular time, I cannot open the doorway for a relationship. It's
yeah,
because I have to really focus my essence and my whole being from me and from before my ancestors to bring it into my reality. Once that happens, then so be it. If the universe provides me for a great angel that falls from the sky, so be it, you know. But until that happens, I'm not gonna go out searching and
yeah.
waste energy and, you know, put myself in situations that I really don't need to be in. You know, I've got a bigger
No,
purpose. You
that's
know, I know where I want to go. I know how I can help the world and people, and I know I have to be a good role model. You know,
no, I know, and I think that's one of the fears that I was breaking down was because like I knew this about 3 years ago, and I got like this is big, and I was like I weren't quite sure how big it was, and I was like the
yeah,
last couple of years I'm realizing how big it was, and I think that's
yeah,
the thing. Maybe don't say how big it is, knowing that it's a big thing, but not to like kind of get locked into that fear, because then that can impede you being everything that you can be and more. Do you know what I mean? And I'm speaking from experience because I've been that and I've done that.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we're constantly working. That's what I mean. We're constantly learning and we're constantly like evolving. So, you know, we think we know things. We literally don't know nothing. You know, what we see and what we get told, and we're just listening to other pockets and other mirror images of ourselves. So
Yeah,
we're just listening to our own memories and our own thoughts and our own patterns. But really, once the curtain is pulled, we're really going to see the true earth, and we'll be like, oh my days, what the hell? You know, we've all been tricked, we've all been this, we've all been that.
yeah,
So this is the moment was coming, and I'm just so excited. I really really am, because I'm a part of it, and you know I'm meeting
oh,
people like yourself, and you
yeah,
know everyone else around us what are actually doing it.
yeah,
We're making it happen. You know, we're bringing it into existence.
That's it. I mean, I've been putting out there for the last 7 years. I didn't realize this because my journey, more or less, really like bingo moment started 7 years ago when I walked along the beach and bumped into the driftwood. And that's when,
Yeah,
funny enough, that's when like the light bulb was starting going on and my healing journey was starting going on, as well as like trying to create a business and, lots of different things happening and stuff. And what was I going to say? There was a point to that. I do this and
awakening.
yeah, and then it's that like awakening. Do you know what I mean? And I was, oh, that's it. That's where I was going with it. And when I started doing like manifesting, I remember like I lived in a flat and I used to create everything in a flat. You should have seen it like in my kitchen, like, sawdust everywhere. But I remember manifesting. I didn't know why I was doing it, but I was doing it. And so how I manifest, it's almost like it comes up and goes out. It is like a torrential field. And I could see all these things coming out of me, so to speak, visually. I
Yeah,
don't about like art everywhere and coming like art. And then like my universe was showing me more recently, oh dear, I put something quite big out there. And when you put something big out there, that means that you're a big universe and you need to go what you've created.
yeah,
Yeah. So where I'm going with this is like we create things and then it's almost like we're scared to do that next bit when our universe is going, you created this and you've got
mm,
from there to there because you've created it, which means
yeah,
I'm going to shove you off the end of a cliff basically if you don't move
mm,
backside because you've
yeah.
created this and the pathway's already there. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, and this is why it's so brilliant, is because this is where the blockage starts to appear. When we get to that point where you said, yeah, gets to you're ready to make that last leap to become exactly what you wanted and you dreamed and you wished for, but then you don't. So this is where people put the barrier up. Then they start to get sick, depressed. They feel like they can't get out of their situation. It's because they've like ignored the messages what were laying up beside them. So it's a kind of, again, it's like a fear base. We've been taught to be scared of being free. you
That's it.
know they're saying that people are actually thinking that we need always someone to look after us or to care for us. But now it's switched now. Everyone wants to be a free soul. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm a free soul, yeah, I'm traveling the world, I'm meeting these people. I'm not locked down.
That's
So
what
yeah,
travel the world. But and it's funny you should say that because like Crete and that's been on our radar and stuff. And I'd love to some because I've asked my inner guidance this and I'm like, yeah, I know I've put it out there that I want to travel the world, but there's
yeah,
something drawing me to Crete, not because of what Adrian said, but because of my own inner. Because I've asked my God self, and I'm like, did it? Do you know, like you do?
yeah,
And
yeah.
and I was like, I think I'm meant to like go there because there's deep gnosis there. And my deep gnosis, it's going to trigger my deep gnosis off within. Does that make
It'll
sense?
be, yeah. It does. There's an awakening. Yeah, definitely. Your heart's pure and you have the great vision of your life. Then suddenly Crete will resonate through you and she will just blossom you like the forest you are. She really, really does. She will give everything you need to make you become a purer version of yourself
That's
and let go of what is unwanted. You know, it's a magical place.
it. I part of this vision that was out there was like I've always been into like growing your own food and stuff. Am I good at it? No, I'm not, because I had an allotment here for the past couple of years. It's not done anything, and I'm
Hmm.
all about was because I wasn't consistent. I
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, exactly.
learned a lot by that because I realised that there's so much to learn about growing. Again,
Yeah,
we are the plant that grows. It's a bit like when you start your shadow work, you're in the soil. And I know this might have
yeah,
been analogy so much, but I love the analogy. My universe showed me this. It's like, so you've gone through the mud, you've got rid of all the nasty bits and stuff, and you're growing and you're coming up to the sun. Imagine someone putting a black muslin over to stunt that growth. Because we do,
hmm,
And it's going, no, 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 you need to take the black muslin off and you need to keep going up towards the sun. And I guess it's
Yeah,
to use, isn't it?
yeah.
Slightly sidetracking, I do that. Yeah, to see all these, what my vision is to pretty much do what you're doing. And it's like I'd love to have art retreats, because for art, it's been a big thing for my life. I mean, I've been on my own, even though I've been with somebody, most of my life I've still been on my own.
Yeah,
And art for me as my friend, my joy, my peace, my fun. I adore colour. I love creating. What I've come to realise with art is what you're creating from your inner world on a canvas, you also create on the outside. That's what it showed me about a good couple of months ago now. So when I'm
exactly.
on canvas, I'm creating on the outside as well. So it's quite a lot of power.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And every action has a multi-dimensional reaction. So it's a kind of we have to make sure we're always doing this. We're always being colourful. We're always being bright. We're always bringing this beautiful frequency, because
Yeah,
that's what we want to resonate in the future and into our manifestation.
yeah, yeah. I know. Maybe I just do that. So tell us more about your, is it classed as a retreat, a community, or it don't need a label? I know that, but
Okay, so the place where I done voluntary for a year and a half, where I closed my shop and I went and do voluntary work with him, that's like literally 5 minutes away from my house.
right,
And it's amazing because he's created exactly what I wanted in a different version.
right,
So I was a part of it. I was getting intel. I was the host. I was the volunteer. I still host now. So when people come, I'm always there to host them and make sure they're comfortable and everyone's okay and they've got everything what they need. And so now it's about creating another version of this, on my land, in my village, in what's 5 minutes away. And now I've just found out that there's another group what are making another healing retreat 5 minutes away from barracks. So this whole little area is becoming like a holy spiritual mother Gaia connective hub, And this is what I was speaking about 5 years ago. Now it's actually happening. I'm like, wow, it's coming to my doorstep, and without me actually creating it on my land, just my presence and just me sharing and giving out my information and my knowledge. Now people are starting to fulfill that vision,
yeah,
without me even controlling it. It's just did it because it's like Crete is like said, okay, look, you're on something, and so many other people are on the same frequency on the island. Let's do it. And now I believe Crete is going to probably become like the retreat hotspot of the world one day.
yeah. And that figures actually when I've, it's like, I don't know how to explain this, but I mean, outside of me, it's to do with like Zeus, like the original, like, I don't know what I'm saying really.
No, the video because it's the oracles. This is the whole island here, Delphi, and other little islands. That this is where the oracles were laid. And this is where people. What?
Definitely meant to go.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Awakening, it will. You'll get to see your visions. You get to see another version. You've probably been here before. This is why it's calling on you. Because a lot of people have come here. They feel like they found home. You know, even me, even myself.
yeah. That'd be nice, that actually. I mean, they say home is where the heart is and that, but I also think sometimes like outside can affect you finding that within as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, a lot of sense. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So what kind of things do you like do food? Are you creating like, homegrown food and all of that?
Yeah, so I helped Barrett done this garden, and it's beautiful. He's starting to grow. He's got so many herbs growing around the location. So it's got all these basic, like basil, thyme, mint, peppermint, lemongrass. He's got this growing, and then he's got his vegetables. He's got his watermelons, what are growing. He's got carrots. He's got beetroot, and many other things as well, peppers, chilies. So it's not in a huge ain't a huge guild, but it's just the beginning stage. He only done it last year, and this year they're starting to really come through really good. So now we're going to design an area where we're going to build another 3 trenches and do that. Just to start what we've done, we've like built like a little small trench, and we put the plants inside the trench on the vegetables. So it keeps it away from the sun, not 100%, but it gives it a kind of shade, and it keeps the water in more as well. And then we got like a pipe, a pipe system where it all feeds. So you just turn on a tap, and then it just feeds automatically. So you don't need to go watering. Sometimes you just spray them down just to give them like a little bath. But yeah, so that's what's happening over his place, and I've got on my business plan where I want to do on my land, where I want to create like 3 nice electronic gardening greenhouses. So using copper and crystal to create a bigger yield of food. And I'm doing my research. I'm like, right, okay. So now at the minute, I'm starting to go around collecting copper pipes and stuff like this, so I can make my own kind of creation in every greenhouse. Not just the greenhouse, all over in the garden, in the house, just to keep that argan energy clean.
What an idea. Wouldn't it be great if you could actually get the pipe work and do a greenhouse from the pipe work?
Yeah, that would be mad. That would be amazing.
That's it
Yeah.
in your head, wouldn't it?
Like a couple, yeah, exactly. Like you're getting these people now who are making them pyramid beds, the ones on the top of the beds, was combined with crystals and copper.
Yeah, I can make them.
Yeah, you know what? This would be very good because when I was in Cambridge, before I come here, I was making orgonite devices and I was giving them out for free.
No.
So I was making loads, and then I was going around saying, pull it near your router, pull it near the 5G tower. So what it does, it brings in the negative and it reverses it and brings it down to a positive frequency. So it's a very basic thing, but it's a lost talent or lost history. So we need to know how to protect yourself truly.
Yeah. I know someone who I follow, but she's kind of, a lot of have gone to kind of like ground quiet, like high dimensional consciousness, staying away from the internet, particularly now. But I was following this lady called Solaris Kira. I think she's called Solaris Kira. And I noticed her house, she had like this, I don't know if you can see because it goes a bit funny here, doesn't it? A ginormous crystal outside of her house with copper wrapped around it.
Yeah. It's
House.
a beacon, yeah. It's a beacon. I've got it in my plants now. So all my plants were like really fading away because the heat was so strong. So I got myself some sticks, put the copper around them, stuck it in the ground so it's grounding, and then stuck it so it's got a little pin up so it's connecting with the ether. And then suddenly I'm looking at the plants, they're blossoming. I'm like, what? And I water them, and I only water them half of what I usually water if I was, doing it usually. So I can water once every 2 days, but they're still blooming. They're just bringing that energy, the infrared vibration they're bringing in. So it's just like, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to see it happen right in front of your eyes. You see it on TikTok, on YouTube, but for me, I've done it in Cambridge, and then as when I was testing. But now I've come here, I'm like, right, I want to do this everywhere, and I'm thinking about maybe introducing it to the farmers. Because once the farmers click onto it, because I don't think they do stuff like this over here in Crete.
Because
So
if
if they can come to that, wow.
by that other agenda, aren't they? And it's actually not kind of, I mean, it's not anyone's fault. We're not looking after blame or anything, but it's just that's how the government kind of took the
Yeah,
farmers
yeah,
without going down
exactly.
particularly. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
get back to basics because they did this years ago.
Of course they did. Yeah, this is lost in the knowledge what they just scrapped away and deleted. Every 90 years they change the books.
That's it. And that's why we're,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I
That's
know,
why they're trying.
I know.
They're trying, but they won't be victorious. This is what's happening. We're the victorious ones now because we're not living their ways anymore.
It. I've always been a bit obstinate.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've always been a bit obstinate. I didn't even know that I was a rebel until recently. And I'm like, I was like good girl at school and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I was good at home and I was like, And I think that's the thing. I was having to follow stuff that my dad was like, and school and stuff like that. And I was like, I've just tapped into discipline in that over the past couple of days. Like, why am I not disciplined?
Yeah,
And I was like, I get it, because discipline to me was viewed, it was always a punishment.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then when we start breaking it down, realize that actually discipline, that was the way it was taught to me as a little girl. But discipline for yourself is self-love.
yes, self-love, exactly. And what they probably didn't have as much as you do now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
we've got to remember, you was a gift. You're an interdimensional being, so you chose to come back to Earth, and so you was a gift from the galactic universe to your parents, So there would be like times where you're probably not like both of them at all. The way people come out and they're like, "What? I'm nothing like my parents." It's because you've come from another world. You've come from a different place. You just chose to experience this three-dimensional way of life.
You know that Mrs. Doubtfire with Robbie Williams in? It's
Yeah, yeah.
the most
Yeah.
multi-dimensional galactic beings right now.
Yeah,
I
amazing, huh?
watch much TV, but Adrian put something on the other day. Oh, I'm sure he'll share it with you. Simon Pegg. It was
Simon Pegg, yeah.
Simon Pegg. I think just, and it was to do with galactics. Weird creatures up, like almost like on these funny chairs. I was like, I want one of them chairs, because it's like hovering. But these galactic beings like higher people. And it was like, what would you do now? And I was like, yeah, you little, oh, I didn't say a profanity. You're probably doing that with me. What can we do now? Like, James,
Yeah.
chessboard, what can we do now? Like, I think enough's enough now. Because I do get that with the game. And you know what? I absolutely don't like playing games. I hate
Mm.
a game.
Your art's the game of life, that's what it is. That's your
Oh,
game.
I know, and I thought that my mission was taking me somewhere else. So for a little bit, I was like a rabbit in the headlights, didn't know where I was going. And it's only now
Yeah,
I've just realised it's all coming together. GPMS.world, how it's for humanity, and all the technologies that are coming in. It's all coming together with streets and communities. So there's a bigger plan: art, all encompassing music, everything, and it's all on
yeah,
one umbrella.
exactly. And this is why it's so beautiful to eventually.
Yeah, yeah. No. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it. I have.
Many places.
Do this again now. Now I've
100%.